and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and infinite glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakak, double honors to the elders and the apostles at Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to you, hopeful like God came out there laboring by pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. This is your brother Amar from the GMS Idaho camp, and I just wanted to speak on this article, and this is kind of old news, I guess you could say, because the United States military has had recruitment numbers at a historic low, because they boast, and for the longest time, that they are our 100% volunteer military. But we understand that in the near future that a major draft is coming, and that is lining up with exactly what's going on with our modern day world. And this is from the American Military News website. You can Google these headlines. You can look everything up because, you got to double check it. But this was coming out of March of 2023 of this year. And the article reads, headline, 77% of young Americans too fat, mentally ill, on drugs, and more to join military, Pentagon study finds. And hey, Americans too fat, number one obese country in the world. These men, so-called, they're not in the gym. They're not doing sports like they do. They smoking weed, partying and bullshitting, and doing things that are detrimental to their health. And it's made popular to do those things. To just lay around and do nothing. Be lazy, play video games. No, my generation, man, we were still running outside, and you had to be home before the street lights came on. So that's not a culture that this society has pushed. They're pushing an effeminate, androgynous, rainbow gang type society, mentally ill, and that goes into gender dysphoria, on drugs. That speaks for itself, man. The partying and bullshitting culture is very much high. No pun intended. But these people are always, the main thing is smoking, doing coke, popping shrooms, doing LSD tabs. Going to raves, that's what this younger generation is. It's not like the generations before where, for one, they didn't have access to a lot of those things. And for two, that patriotic spirit is well out the door, especially for how much the military has changed into pretty much the woke movement and another pawn in weakening the military's defenses. And we understand that that's all according to prophecy, because like scriptures say, it says that your men will become as women. And then also that a woman shall overpass a man. And how can a woman, the weaker vessel, overpass a man if the men are being effeminate, bitch-made-ass fucking niggas, man? And that's what we see with this article. And I'm going to read and skim through it kind of quickly. I didn't want to make this lesson long. Straight to the point and on to the next. And this is another headline from the same one. It says, retired Navy SEAL, Democrats, moral decay driving down military recruitment. And we understand that since their recruitment levels are going to be so low, that they're going to have to, in one way, shape, or form, do a draft. And the first people that are going to get drafted are these people that do a public service agreement. And I forget the exact name that it's called, but when you get a student loan, you have to sign a paper that you will do a public service, which is a military draft. This is a Pentagon study revealed that 77% of young Americans do not qualify for military service without a waiver due to being overweight, drug use, or mental or physical problems. In quote, when considering youth disqualified for one reason alone, the most prevalent disqualification state rates are overweight, 11%, drug and alcohol abuse, 8%, and medical physical health, 7%. The Pentagon's 2020 Qualified Military Available Study of Americans between the ages of 17 and 24 read. Several key findings were noted in the summary of the report. For example, most ineligible youth, 44%, are disqualified for multiple reasons rather than in only one area. Dang, so not just one problem, they got multiple problems. That last generation, that wicked last generation, this is continuing. Among those ineligible for only one reason, being overweight was the highest disqualification. Bunch of fucking fatties, man. At 11%, drug use, 8%. Medical/physical only, 7%. And mental health only 4% were the other leading categories found in the study. The largest increase in disqualification estimates observed between 2013 and 2020 were for mental health, man. A bunch of fucking weirdos, bugged out. They got autism. They go to therapy. They're on type of prescription pills to make their calm. You know, a lot of the big thing is I got anxiety. Man, you can't have anxiety when you're on the battlefield, man. This is estimates observed between 2013 and 2020 were for mental health again, and overweight conditions. Another key finding was that the proportion of youth both eligible and not currently enrolled in college was only 12%. That's right, because they like to go after these college boys because they have already signed that waiver. You know, and they need to be an officer in the military, you have to have at least a 4-year bachelor degree. Doesn't matter if it's underwater basket weaving, you got to have a degree. This is 2 Issachar 16 and 33. It says, the virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. You know, these young women. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. These women that are already married, their husbands are what? Gonna be dead. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. Meaning, you know, a woman can't do anything by herself. That's why you're built in pairs. You know, it's not mentally, physically, or emotionally possible for anybody to do anything alone. We need women as much as women need us, but a man can be more independent and get on in this society, but a woman always has to depend on a man, whether it's her father, her boss, or her husband. This is 34. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. So the bridegrooms going into these young men that are going to be drafted, you know, and they're going to be cannon fodder. They're going to get blown up in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, in the Valley of Armageddon, and these different wars that America is going to force them in, from Taiwan to Ukraine to the Third World War, to the Middle East, to Africa. There's going to be all-out hell. So we understand this is a very real thing that's happening, and Salakia, and it's something that's coming. And if you don't have the Lord on your side, you're going to be on the front line taking a bullet to the fucking face. And hey, man, any man is not going to go fight for this devil, especially your oppressor, Esau, Edom, and his army, because like the scriptures say, is though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. So, hey, if you're right along with the wicked, you're going to get the same punishment as the wicked. So, if you do get that draft letter, you're going to have to just take that jail time or never ever come back, because anybody that's going to get drafted in this war coming to the future ain't coming back. Get that through your head, man. So with that being said, another article with the scriptures to back it up, because these things is real and they're going to happen very soon. And with that, I'd like to give all glory and honor, praise to Yahweh, double honor to the elders and apostles of every millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect document out there laboring by pushing this word in truth and sincerity. This is your brother Amar from the GMS Idaho camp saying DTA and a Baba